guys, it's your girl Carrie. Today I will be sharing the first video in a series of videos titled Modernly Chic Blue and White. I will be uploading videos all week, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any of my uploads. In today's video, I will share the 4 tips that will make your blue and white look grandma-ish, 3 tips on how to make your blue and white look modern, and 4 different tablescape ideas for an 8-person place setting. Tomorrow's video will feature the actual tablescape I put together for our Sunday dinner. The next video will share tips on how to entertain for 1, entertain for 2, and entertain for a few. And the final video, I will share some quick tips on entertaining. So let's get started. Nix the lace tablecloth. Nothing ages blue and white like a lace tablecloth. Don't make it too vintagey. Don't pull out every piece that you own at one time. Remember, less is more. Don't make everything matchy-matchy. Make sure you have the right tabletop. If not, cover it. Glass tables are a no-go because the flooring will distract or compete with the table unless the flooring coordinates. Also, cover your brown table because it makes the blue and white look drab, and it will definitely tell your age. For example, see how drab my beautiful pieces from Bombay Company look on my uncovered table? First, use a tablecloth that will make your dishes pop. This white tablecloth brings the pieces from my Bombay coffee and tea collection to life. This was the very first blue and white dishware set that I purchased about 5 years ago. I wanted to find a set that had an understated elegance, and I think this one fit the bill. Also, find unique pieces. The square shape of these blue and white plates are hip and modern, and the unusual shape of this teapot makes it stand out. Next, mix things up a bit. See how spreading the pieces around and adding some current items, the tabletop looks fresh and modern. So this is one way you can set up a table. And then here, for this particular setting, I know again you always ask me about centerpieces. Again, I love to incorporate things I'm going to be using at my table as a centerpiece. So you could easily just take some of the drinks or some of the things that you're going to be using. Let's just say this is a brunch because you have the champagne flute there. You might make some mimosas or something like that. I would just set up a cake stand or a pedestal in the center of the table. Here you have these gorgeous little cups. You know I love these cups with the sleeves on them. I just put a few of the bottles behind there, and then you can kind of like take a bottle off, and then you maybe put a carafe of orange juice on the table and maybe a champagne or something in the champagne ice bucket, and kind of just make your own mimosa around the table. Now this next look, it's going to mimic the table setting I did for my mother's birthday several years ago. So first we're going to start off with these beautiful silver chargers. Next we're going to layer in that cobalt blue plate, and we're going to go with this white beaded plate. We're going to go ahead and use our cobalt blue champagne flute, and then also I'm going to just jazz it up a bit by putting out a silver wine goblet. Now with the flatware you can go a multitude of ways. Here I just set it up with the blue handled you know, the cobalt blue handled flatware. But you could also do something where you can mix it up, where you can just do all blue, you can go all white, or you can do a mix of blue and white. So in this case, if you see all of this on the table, you're probably going to have a soup course, a salad course, and a dinner course. But that gives it a, you know, a different appeal, a different interest. Or another trick that I do, because I have so many flatware sets, is that I may only buy a service for 4, a complete setting for 4 places, but I would buy them in different colors. I might do all white at one, all blue at the next, and then alternate. That gives my table interest, and also I'm able to have a bunch of different colors, a bunch of different styles and types without breaking the bank. Next, I'm going to add this coffee service right to the right of this plate setting. Then I'm going to add the coffee spoon or teaspoon behind here, behind the saucer, and like that. And here's a tip: when you're giving coffee service or tea service, this is where the teaspoon goes. It goes behind the cup. The handle of the cup faces 3 o'clock. That way, you'll put your teaspoon right behind it, facing the same direction. Now, a lot of times you will see me do everything backwards because I'm left-handed. So if you ever see me doing it the wrong way, or you see my tables set up the wrong way, I set it up based on how I actually use it. So again, if you are left-handed, it is nothing wrong with switching it around to make it useful for you. And then you have to figure out where to place your napkin. If this is my final step, I could either place my napkin there in the center of my place setting, or I'll set it to the left of my place setting. And I'm going to set it to the left. If you've been watching me for a while, you will know that these are one of my favorite treats. I love the caramel wafers, and I love this gorgeous packaging that it comes in. It has the blue and white detail, and a way you can make this special, just tie a blue and white bow around it. And I just set this in front of each of the guests' place setting. Here's something funny. This one says Reagan on it. In our home, because we have so many greedy people, we label our food so no one will touch it or take it. So Reagan put her name on her box of cookies. So here is the final setup for this table setting. And again, it's a little bit more formal than the other one. We can just look at that. And again, with the centerpieces, you can do a multitude of things. You can have a floral arrangement. So back here, I just stuck some of the blue and white hydrangea into the silver ice / champagne bucket, and that could serve as your centerpiece in and of itself, and you can put the food around it. Or again, you can display your other blue and white pieces in a grouping. So again, you can sit around, and instead of having your tea service already set out at the place setting, you can decorate that and display that right in the center of your table. And then once your meal is over and you're serving the coffee and tea at the end of the meal, you can use that to just serve everything from there. So just put out all of the things that you would need for your tea service, and if you're going to have dessert, you can just stack your dessert plates right there. And then as a hostess, you don't have to leave the table. You can stay right there. So the centerpiece is both functional and beautiful. And finally, I thought I could top this look off with putting a pine cone in the center to let us know that it is fall. And then after I did that, I got to thinking like, instead of the pine cone in the center, maybe I can make some pine cone napkin rings. And I picked these up off season last year. I always shop off season. And I think I picked these up from Walmart, and they were 20 cents each. So they each had a small pine cone, the perfect size to make a napkin ring. So I am going to remove this pine cone from the sprig. The great thing about this pine cone is that it already has the wire twined around it so that it could fit into the sprig. So this would be perfect. I'll just wrap these two ends around my napkin. And voila, there you have it, the perfect little napkin ring holder. And if you wanted to, you can jazz it up a little bit more by adding a nice ribbon to that. But I think that looks really cute. Now, what will we do for the centerpiece for this one? Well, we can go a couple of ways. I have this huge hyacinth basket that you often see on my table in the springtime, and I just threw a couple of items in here just to kind of give you an idea. And what you can do is throw in some nature-inspired, moss balls. You can fill it in with different types of moss. This one here is a Spanish moss. And then get some little nature balls, and then fill in the empty gaps with some fall-inspired fruit or vegetables. You can do gourds or pumpkins, things like that. Now, I didn't have enough in my stock in my pantry. I have to go grocery shopping to fill that all up, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what you can do as a centerpiece that does not have to be a floral arrangement. Second option for a centerpiece would be taking your wheat stalks. You guys know I love wheat, and I've had this from a couple of seasons ago for a fall tablescape that I did. And in this one, instead, I would just, put the wheat in, and then maybe you could just fill up the vase with different types of nuts. You can fill this up with pine cones, and then just basically have a very full wheat tops coming out. And then you can set that on either end of the table for fall. Wow, now as I was playing around, I just threw this larger pine cone to the side, and looking at this color palette, this would make a great color palette for maybe even Christmas if you wanted to do a winter wonderland or blue and white themed Christmas, and then incorporate these pine cones in with some garland and things like that. So the possibilities are endless with blue and white. Well, guys, I hope I have given you some ideas on how to look at blue and white in a different, fresh, new way, and also to incorporate it in a chic fashion. And until next time, I am going to keep calm and carry on. Bye, guys.